It's the people's house. Big Zeus. It's the people's house. Big Zeus. Pull up to the gate, it's 1600 on the map. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power to the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom is the banner and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father's vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Ballots in my hands, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK, now it's photo ops, power plays all day. I'm trapping for the vote. Yeah, Big Zeus, it's the people's house. Big Zeus, powers in the air. Big Zeus, we knocking on the door. Big Zeus, we wanna hear your soul. Yeah, yeah. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People, all them players, yeah, y'all think this is a joke. Take it back and write the code. 1600, got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall. They staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. I'm trapping out the West Wing, doing deals all in the dark. Make your dreams come true. All I need is a spark. Red phone ringing.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
On my line, got the Constitution jumping. Yeah, you know I'm so divine. No stains on my kicks and the rally outside. And the gates is locked. This power never divides. Sitting for the block, head buses make them wanna fight. 1600, do it all day, all night. The people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talk loud, time to clap. Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back. In the people's house, powers in the air.
Powers in the air, ladies and gentlemen.
House, we knocking on your door. It's the people's house.
We wanna hear your soul. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Once again, we are back. All right, let's get this thing going. All right, because we got a lot to get into and get up out of here. All right. But you know what we got to do. Let's get things going.
Yeah.
You know they hate it.
I feel like I'm stuck in a cycle. It's like I'm stuck in time. It's like a curse. And I can't escape. It's like
Good morning.
deja vu.
There you go.
Zeus. It's deja vu when I'm running up these rats. I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it
Right, Cycle Queen?
Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last.
Let's go.
Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you're rich and famous.
It's true.
The algorithm
This
turns
algorithm-
to a maniac. I guess we going viral cause my zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie.
You know what I'm saying, Evan? Let's go.
They don't get replies if they text me.
Yeah, 1600 Pennsylvania Ave. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, W. Rick. I don't have a P.O. box. I need to get one. Here goes.
I'll tell
Here
you what,
goes.
I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of days. That shit was radical.
Really?
Very radical.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
Oh,
It's like deja vu. It's like deja
this is
vu.
going way off the rails.
It's like deja
It hurts
vu.
every time, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like deja vu.
Wow, wow, wow. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. My apologies for the delay to get online, but you know, things happen in the morning, especially when you got to take care of, you know, the pooch and whatnot. But before we get into all of that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. For those of you who don't know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or some like to say Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Well, to be quite honest, it's quite simple. The first H is, well, because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media, hands down. That's how honest I am. The second H is because I'm humble. Listen, if I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize, all right? But here's the thing. Just because your feelings are hurt does not mean that I owe you an apology. I'm the most handsome. Hold on. We might have some treason in the kingdom. Eugene, I'm the most handsome. Eugene, knock it off, champ, please. That nutty virus is spreading, I see. So not only am I the most honest and the most handsome, the most humble, but ladies and gentlemen, the last H is probably one of the most important H's. It's because I am and will always remain, you've guessed it, the most handsome. Eugene, knock it up, all right? Now, many of you know exactly why we're gathered here once again. We have to save this great country of ours from the evil clutches of, you know who, Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons who are hell-bent on destroying this great country of ours, and he's using all the tools he has available. And what we've been doing, and it's quite incredible for the past, actually more than 3 years since I've been online, but especially since his presidency has started, we've been combating this misinformation and this disinformation that he's been spewing all across this country. He uses it to control his demons, right? But it doesn't work with us. And so what I'll say is this. Do we have any Trump supporters out there today? Because yesterday we did a huge number on the MAGA demon. We did a huge number. I got so many thank yous. They said, thank you, Zeus. The way that you took the Russian bear, you know, Stacy, she came up here. She's the bravest of the Russian bears because she really was trying to stand on business, which was obviously it was a lie. We did such a great number on that Russian bear yesterday. They said, Zeus, I've never seen anything like that between what you did and all the guests that you had come up here. And just you guys totally made it real clear that we're not going into the midterms and supporting Donald Trump. We're going to go ahead and support the Democrats. So that's what we got to do. One show at a time. But okay, I see I got some Trump supporters out there. All right, I see you, Miss Morningstar. So here's the thing, Trump supporters. If you do not want me to ruin your breakfast, I know what you ate, Cheez-Its, and you probably drink Diet Coke, right? You don't want me to ruin your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and everything in between. You might want to leave this live right now. Honestly, you do. Because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable. There's going to be so much truth coming out of here that your head's going to spin and then pop off. Boop, your head's gone. And if you don't want to experience that, like I said, go hang out with those fake TikTok hosts like Snuggie. Snuggie rhymes with Huggy if you think about it. And you know what that means, right? Anyhow, you go hang out with them because they'll lie to you and try to make you feel good. But over here, I will never, ever do that because here's the thing. I will never forgive what you did on January 6th when you launched a domestic tea attack against the United States of America. Trav, send me a guest request, Trav. I'll help you out. All right, Trav. Don't worry, Trav. Send me a guest request if you really mean what you say. But if not, Trav, please. Some of us are actually here to learn, all right? And so what I'll say is this along those lines. If you don't want to continue to watch what I do, all right, especially what I'm about to do to Trav, ladies and gentlemen, leave right now because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable. But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome have officially closed. You've entered at your own risk. And I take absolutely no responsibility for anything that goes on because sparks are about to start flying. All right. And I'm just one, I'm Zeus. But I'm not going to get hit by those sparks. But a lot of you, if you don't get out of the way, these sparks are going to hit. And what we're doing is we're going to send these MAGA demons where they belong, straight to hell. Trav, Hawk, I'll get you two out of the way real quick. Y'all want to come up here real quick and let me address what's going on with you this morning? What I don't understand, Hawk, is why are you so busy ruining the comment section with your filth? If you don't want to say anything up to, in person, then just do me a huge favor and zip it. W, Zeus. Hawk, I sent you an invite. I don't want to hear it. What's going on right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the MAGA demon has been fully exposed, and what we're seeing is who's really in control. Is it Donald J. Trump, or is it Elon Musk? And the MAGA demons that are supporting both of them, they're torn. They don't know who to worship, and both of them, they don't understand it because they call themselves Christians, like that one knucklehead that we got up here yesterday, Scotty. Hey, Scotty, I wasn't done with you. I want to finish the conversation. WCC, thank you so much. I have 100,000% confirmation that every single Trump supporter who does not get out of the cult, they're prime candidates for hell, and they're going straight to hell. Every MAGA demon, everybody that voted for Donald Trump, 100% proof positive, you're on your way to hell, because what you've done is you've committed a serious transgression. And I'm going to keep reminding each and every single one of you, God's judgment is truly upon us, because what I'm seeing right now is, especially the ones that come up here and they're foaming at the mouth, but they call themselves Christ, they call themselves Christians. You ask them, well, what part of the Bible gives you the authority to go around here and start judging the people, the very people God created? They don't got any Bible chapter or verse. All they got is Truth Social Post. W Zeus. All you got is Truth Social Post. Truth Social Posts do not count as Bible chapter and verse. We want scripture. The second thing is, you ask these knuckleheads, hey, so what is your issue with the people immigrating into the country, coming into the country? Oh, they're here illegally. Okay, well, what did Jesus say, right? And Takesha, you had them on the rope, but we got distracted with the Russian bear. They don't have any answers. But one thing we do know, ladies and gentlemen, and actually I'm going to go ahead and send them straight to hell for this, because this is the hypocrisy. On one hand, you will forgive your dear leader. You'll forgive him for saying stuff like this.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter.
Hold on.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Oh, it's so weird.
If Ivanka wasn't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. Oh, Zeus. That's just him joking. That's him joking, Zeus. But I can separate those statements from him being in the office of the White House. Zeus, you got to be able to do both. Okay, well, what about this?
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Innocent answer.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
So you can excuse Jeffrey Epstein. I'm just going to call him what he is. This is Jeffrey Epstein's friend, Donald Trump. You can excuse Jeffrey Epstein's friend, Donald Trump, saying disgusting things like that about his own daughter, especially the knucklehead that was in my box, Scotty. He has 3 daughters, he said. Oh, okay, yeah, so he just put his foot in his mouth. Okay, so you forgave Trump for that. You forgave Trump for the SA against E. Jean Carroll. You forgave him for that. You forgave your dear leader for those 34 felonies. So anybody that's a free thinker like myself, you understand, okay, so you Trump supporters, y'all clearly have the ability to forgive. But then you ask the same Trump supporters who are fully possessed with the MAGA demon to forgive the people who have immigrated into the United States for whatever the reason is. And you just can't bring yourselves to forgive people of color. So ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and warm up this lake of fire once again. And this is especially for the black folks that support Donald Trump and the Latinos for Donald Trump. You know, the ones that were singing, I will vote for Donald Trump. Let's warm up this lake of fire, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, hell's getting bigger every single day. And it's not the Democrats that are going to hell. Absolutely not. It's you, the Trump supporters who are fully possessed with the MAGA demon. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send them where they belong, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W Zeus. I'm going to ask you again, MAGA. Are there any Trump supporters in the chat that want to get in the box and express how much I've hurt their feelings? Just place a 1 or send me a guest request. But if not, do me a huge favor. Honestly, just zip it. Just zip it, MAGA. Because I already know you're not that bright. I actually, like this guy, this knucklehead, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom. He's never drilled baby drill in his life. Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, you've never drilled baby drill in your life. I have. A lot of real men have, but you haven't. I could tell. And then you get on TikTok and you don't show your best side. You show your worst side. And I don't even think you have a best side at this point, because you won't be able to have a best side as long as the MAGA demon is running your life. But I'll say this. Once Donald Trump told me this about you Trump supporters,
You're either stupid or you hate the country.
I said, you know what? He's right, W. Zeus. Now, what I am going to do, though, because Trump supporters, they're just super obsessed with President Biden. They're trying to ruin President Biden's legacy. What is it about Joe Biden's legacy, MAGA, that y'all just can't stand? He didn't commit any crimes, and if he did, why didn't you impeach him? Right? This is my thing. If Joe Biden committed any kind of crimes, why didn't the House move forward with those articles of impeachment? And if you really do believe Joe Biden is incompetent, his cognitive abilities, why the hell did you all get so upset when he called you garbage? You should have just said he doesn't know what he's talking about and went on about your day. But you made Joe Biden calling you garbage such a big deal. Did y'all all actually listen to your dear leader who dressed up like a garbage man and got in a dump truck and made you all wear trash bags around yourselves? I mean, that's hilarious. I got to give Joe Biden, Joe Biden, because that to me is diabolical, that he could actually subconsciously manipulate you Trump supporters into walking around like trash bags. Joe Biden, geez. But they say he has cognitive issues. And so what we found out, ladies and gentlemen, and this is so sad. This came out yesterday and I was enraged. I said, you guys are still picking on Joe Biden. And this is why they're picking on him. All right. This is the latest thing that Donald Trump decided to do. He said he wants to order an investigation into Joe Biden and those around him. And it's about the auto pen. He just can't get over the fact that Joe Biden beat him in 2020. That's what this is really about. But you know, and let's just get this on the record.
Of course, that other executive order, ordering a wide-ranging investigation into former President Joe Biden and his aides, this latest attack on his political rival. Trump is accusing the aides of covering up Biden's alleged cognitive decline and using the auto pen to sign bills and assert exclusive presidential power, including on pardons, executive orders, and other documents. Trump directed Attorney General Pam Bondi and the White House counsel to lead that investigation. But the move appears to be an effort to possibly pave the way for Republicans to argue that many of Biden's actions as president weren't valid.
Stop right there. Let's go. You know what? Somebody has to go to hell. I'm not even going to go into detail about that, but I'll get this on the record. Joe Biden actually, ladies and gentlemen, and he released a statement. He says, "Let me be clear. I made the decisions during my presidency. I made the decisions about the pardons, executive orders, legislations, and proclamations. Any suggestion that I didn't is ridiculous and false." Now, those are big words, MAGA. Go look them up because you don't know these kind of words. But these are the words Joe Biden has released in response to what Donald Trump and Pam Bondi are doing. All right. He goes, "This is nothing more than a distraction by Donald Trump and congressional Republicans who are working to push disastrous legislation that would cut essential programs like what? Medicaid, and raise the cost on American families, all to pay for tax breaks for the ultra wealthy and big corporations." So Joe Biden, MAGA, if you keep asking and attacking Joe Biden, I promise you, you're going to get so much more Joe Biden. All right. So it's like this. Keep mentioning Joe Biden. I love it. Go ahead. And since you wanted some more Joe Biden, I said, why don't we just go back, ladies and gentlemen? Let's just listen to the Joe Biden's last State of the Union a little bit, and then we'll get to the judgment. I just want MAGA to understand this is the problem. This is who you all say can't talk, and this is the person you say can't has cognitive issues. I think this speech is actually way better than any speech Donald Trump has ever given.
Keep this waiting any longer.
Let's listen to him.
Guarantee the right to ADS. Guarantee it nationwide.
Thank you, Joe Biden. Scotty, you're back, Scotty. Come back up here, Scotty. I need to finish our conversation. But listen to Joe Biden real quick. I just want you to see what a man
like most Americans, I believe Roe v. Wade got it right. I thank Vice President Harris for being an incredible leader defending reproductive.
Oh, hold on.
Freedom. And so much more. Thank you. My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos that has resulted.
Yep.
Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from Dallas. She's become pregnant again and had a fetus of a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate that her own life and her ability to have children in the future were at risk if she didn't act.
Yeah.
Because Texas law banned her ability to act, Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed. What her family got through should have never happened as well.
Amen.
But it's happening in too many others. There are state laws banning the freedom to choose, criminalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need. Many of you in this chamber and my predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away? Look, it's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court majority wrote the following, and with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you were right about that.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted more Joe Biden. So this is what we sounded like when we had a sane president.
Clearly. Those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
That's Joe Biden. I miss him too. That's Joe Biden. MAGA can't stand it. W. Joe Biden in the chat.
If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
Listen up, MAGA. That's my president too. See, I want you to understand what competence and respect sounds like. Get him, Biden.
America cannot go back. I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward, because I know how far we've come. 4 years ago next week,
Here goes.
before I came to office, the country was hit by the worst pandemic and the worst economic crisis in a century.
True.
Remember the fear, record losses. Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus that took more than 1 million American lives of loved ones, millions left behind. A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness. A president, my predecessor, failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's unforgivable.
Thank you.
I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history. We have. It doesn't make news in 1,000 cities and towns. The American people are writing the greatest comeback story never told.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So what we'll do is give Joe Biden a huge round of applause. We all understood what Joe Biden was saying, and he was telling the truth. All right, when he got in control, him and Vice President Kamala Harris, this country was heading straight off of a cliff, but they rescued it. So yeah, but I know the Trump supporters out there, they're still crying and they're saying, no, he sounds like he's got cognitive issues. Newsflash, MAGA, he doesn't have cognitive issues. You do. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send these Trump supporters once again straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, now one more thing, and then I'll go to the audience real quick. And Scotty, please come back up here, Scotty. I wasn't done with you because I was thinking about our conversation yesterday, Scotty, and I was super disappointed. All right, let's get more updates from Lawrence O'Donnell, and this is just another update between the fallout between Elon and his partner Donald Trump. We're just going to get this on the record. We won't listen to the whole thing, but it's relevant.
Elon Musk has not mentioned Donald Trump's name in his now non-stop attacks on the Trump budget bill, but Elon Musk is using his loud social media voice to urge Republicans to kill the bill in a steady stream of angry and bitter tweets. Elon Musk began his war against Donald Trump at 1:34 p.m. yesterday, saying in his most anguished Twitter voice, "I just can't stand it anymore," and he called the Trump budget bill a disgusting abomination. And as of tonight, Donald Trump remains cowering in abject, silent fear of Elon Musk.
You hear this, man?
The proof that Donald Trump is terrified tonight after the richest person in the world turned against him is that Donald Trump has remained absolutely silent about Elon Musk's attacks on the Trump budget bill and Donald Trump. Now,
why is your dear leader, MAGA, why is he quiet? I said to myself, there's really only two people on the face of the earth that I know of that I can 100% with confidence say Donald Trump is scared of. One of them is obviously Elon, because Elon has all the dirt on Donald Trump. Elon has the dirt on Donald Trump. What happened this previous election, I would love for Elon to get so sad and sunken in his depression right now, because they're going through a breakup, and he might do it. But he should spill the beans and explain to the world how he helped Donald Trump out with that election, and not just with the money, but the other stuff he did, right? But the other person is Vladimir Putin. So we know Donald Trump, when he's cornered and he's scared of the bigger bully on the playground, he's going to zip it. And I'm just watching you Trump supporters right now. Y'all have to take what Elon is dishing. Y'all can't say nothing. Y'all bet not pipe up, because he'll strike you down. He'll get you off his platform and dispose of you conveniently. So I'm loving this right now. And you don't know who to believe right now, MAGA. It's like you have two parents and they're getting a divorce. Which one's your favorite? Right. Because one gives you good toys. All right. But the other one, they do other things that you like too. And you don't know which one to go with. But what we're going to do is make sure this is well documented. All right, Lawrence, please continue to tell us all about this nasty divorce.
when is the last time someone with a loud public microphone called Donald Trump or something Donald Trump was doing a disgusting abomination without being immediately attacked by Donald Trump?
Right.
Remember, Donald Trump has attacked Taylor Swift for nothing.
He did.
Donald Trump attacked Bruce Springsteen for something Bruce Springsteen said at a concert on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. And Donald Trump attacked Bruce Springsteen immediately. Donald Trump's rule of life, as he announced in the first book published in his name, which of course was ghostwritten for him, that whenever he is criticized or something he's doing.
So Donald Trump, the book was ghost written. In other words, an auto pen wrote the first book. Where's the outrage, MAGA? Once again, he keeps getting that's why I say every MAGA accusation is truly a MAGA confession. I got to stop it right now real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire, because now we got to deal with the reality that Donald Trump's first book was written by the auto pen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm it up. To you Trump supporters, don't bring up the auto pen ever again, because the first thing we're going to do is talk about his first book. You know what it was. Written by not Trump, but his auto pen. Let's send him a hand. This is some crazy wickedness. This is crazy.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
This is some crazy stuff.
Is criticized, he always has to hit back harder. That's Donald Trump's rule. But Donald Trump dare not strike back against the richest person in the world. Maybe Elon Musk can push Donald Trump to that breaking point that Elon Musk himself reached yesterday at 1:34 p.m.
That makes me
when
laugh.
he screamed on Twitter, "I just can't stand it anymore." Donald Trump might get there, but Donald Trump has never, ever taken longer to get there as he maintains his fearful silence about Elon Musk.
So, this is why I have to do this work, ladies and gentlemen. None of us in here who are free thinkers, right? The ones of us that are not in the cult, we all see right now, whether it's him and his relationship with Putin or his relationship with Elon, Donald Trump is not the superhero MAGA has crafted him out to be. He's nothing but a scared chicken. All right. And that's why he continues to go after women and children. He's doing it with the immigrants, right? And he's doing it with Taylor Swift. So when I see these knuckleheads like Tiny Tank Top Tim, they get up here, you know, how tall is he? He's about, Tiny Tank Top Tim, he's about 4'8", weighs about, 600 pounds, right? When these people get up in my box and they start defending Donald Trump and I protect women. No, you don't. You're a MAGA demon. Plain and simple. And there's no good in you at all. Not while the demon's doing a number on you. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire once again, because you know what their excuse is, right? Why'd you vote for Trump? Oh, because he's not a Democrat. All right, well, guess what you got? You got a first class trip straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W. Zeus, I forgot. I got one more very important thing to do. And this has to do with, once again, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump's BFF at one point. Dan Bongino, he goes on to Fox News with Sean Hannity. And once again, he's promising MAGA the information about what happened to Epstein. But unfortunately, it's not the information they thought they would get. And so what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I want to get this on the record about Jeffrey Epstein and just once again show MAGA how gullible they really are, because you're not getting any information. And you know what? I'll tell you after this. Let's just make sure you get this on the record.
The FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino. Dan, sorry about that technical error. All right. I was asking you mentioned the drone threat. You mentioned China. I mentioned we have known terrorists, known assassination squads, cartel members, gang members, drug dealers in the country. So it's worse than you thought, is what you're explaining to us.
Here,
and that means you have to prioritize your manpower, including 1 million man-hours spent on immigration and finding these unvetted illegals that have these horrific track records. Let me scroll, for example. I scrolled this during the campaign. Americans that were murdered, raped, and victims of violent crime. No Democrat ever, cared. They told us the border was secure and the border was closed. I'll scroll the names. Explain how you prioritize that.
Yeah,
Hold on.
JFK, RFK, MLK files. All of that is still coming, correct?
Yeah.
Worth doing it. But for people like me, I'm one of them that wants answers to the Epstein file issue and what happened. And I never knew there were 10,000 hours of tapes. And was it suicide? You said there's a tape. Or JFK, RFK, MLK files. All of that is still coming, correct?
Yeah, JFK, we're done. The FBI's equities in that, we've already released that. RFK, I got to check back on that one. There is more coming on the Epstein files. Listen, I know this is a hot potato for folks. I totally understand.
Okay.
My comments were clear. I'm not paid for my opinions anymore. I work for the taxpayer now. I'm paid on evidence. That's it. The evidence we have in our files clearly indicates that it was, in fact, a suicide. We do have video. It's not the greatest video in the world. I don't want to set expectations on fire. However, the video does show in that specific block that he goes in, made a phone call. You'll see 12 hours of guards going to basically check on him, come back. You'll see no one really comes out in that bay, in that area, than him. There's no one in there. When you combine that with the other evidence we will be releasing in the coming weeks, we're still finalizing some of the products. I think it's pretty clear. However, as I'm clear...
So, ladies and gentlemen, no new information about Epstein. So, MAGA, how does it feel, Dan Bongino? He told you he was going to get in here and give you the evidence about what really happened, because you don't think he unalived himself. And instead of coming out and saying, hey, there's a trap door that was inside of his cell that it opens up and someone came in there and did a number on him, because he knows that's what it is. Instead, he lies to you once again and tells you just what the government said, keep believing it. Another example of how y'all all played yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send these gullible people who still support Donald Trump and his administration where they belong. One final round of, you guessed it, the Lake of Fire.
Silence, you
my goodness. W Zeus. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I got all the things that I think needed to be aired out this morning. And now it is time to go to the audience and start having one-on-one conversations, or maybe 5-on-1. It doesn't matter as necessary. You know, Stacy was up here yesterday, and I seen the comment she left. She said he had 5 people against me. Stacy, knock it off. When I go onto your side and I do what I do, you do everything like that, and you actually let it get a lot worse. So if you can't handle the fire, the heat, stay the hell out of the kitchen. But then the second thing is this. The moment Donald Trump did that 20v1 against Zelensky and the South African president, I said the game's on. All right, you make the rules, we play them better than you. W Zeus. All right. Do we have any Trump supporters that are out in the audience right now? Scotty, where did you go, Scotty? I wanted to make sure I wrapped up the conversation that you and I had. Please send me a guest request. Matt Paul, you said Zeus the Grifter. Could you please? Zeus, would you do much better if you quit being so liberal? Okay, I'll try. I'm looking in the audience right now. Are you a Trump supporter, Matt Paul? Why don't you come on up here real quick and let's go ahead and get that demon inside of you straightened out, all right? Because one thing I understand right now is, lumberjack. Oh my goodness. No. You don't get to come in here and call yourself daddy in the kingdom. But what you could do, honestly, is you could zip it and just listen to what I'm teaching and be, a good student of Big Zeus, W Zeus. It's so easy to do. Yeah. You asked me why did I unblock you? Because I have a rule, and it's a standing rule. Any demon. What I want to make sure is this: when you meet your maker, and you're gonna try to act like you're gonna pull up your AI. You know what you all like to do. You're gonna bring up the open AI, and you're gonna say, "God, didn't I do all these things and this and that?" And he's gonna say, "Yeah, but you ignored the truth." And you're gonna say, "What truth?" And you know what he's going to do? He's gonna play back the live that you were on with Big Zeus, and he's gonna say, "When Zeus was telling you, you ignored him. So guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna end up going straight to hell." Okay, let's see. Ooh, we got a new Trump supporter. Come on up here, the Revenant. Come on up here. I'm sending the invite. I sent the invite. Or if you can't get the invite, how about this? Send me a guest request. Yeah, I don't want any Trump supporter to have any excuse when the good Lord sends they behind straight to hell. I don't, because this is serious stuff that we're dealing with. So since you don't want to come up here, I'll bring up Nutty. Maybe Nutty can help. Good morning, Nutty. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. This is another day in the kingdom. Trump supporters shook. We got them shook.
Yeah. So yesterday went off the rails with Stacy, with Care Bear Stacy. Before I get started, y'all, thank you for yesterday. Chat Kingdom, thank you for getting over 500,000. Let's continue to tap today and get over 500,000. But yes. So anyway, I wanted to ask you a question.
Go for it.
This time last year, Zeus.
Let me think.
We are in the beginning of hurricane season.
Oh.
And as you know, I used to get deployed.
Right.
We're in the middle of hurricane season, and when the hurricanes happen in North Carolina, in Texas, in Florida, Tennessee, when the hurricanes happen, what was the narrative that we were hearing from Trump, from the Trump Magadonians, maggots?
Biden isn't doing anything. The 700, I think it was $750. Yeah, that wasn't enough. The government wants to take your land. We're not accepting the benefits. Anything huh?
Yeah, stop right there. Stop right there. I don't want you to get too far ahead.
Oh, okay.
So I want to focus on that 750. We have 6 declarations in 4 states currently, right now. We have 2 in Missouri. We have 2 in Arkansas. We have Kentucky and Tennessee, all from tornadoes and flooding. Okay. Your Lord and Savior, Orange Tangerine, has said no to those declarations. So let me ask you this question, because I know you can do simple math, Zeus.
Let me try.
With that declaration being denied, how much money are victims getting right now?
Let me add the 6, subtract 7. Let me get my about nothing.
That's exactly right, sir.
Thank you. W Zeus, W Nutty. Thank you.
That is
That was some quick math right off the dome.
So my question to you, oh great one. My question to you is: if they're getting nothing now, and they were getting $750 for immediate help,
Yeah.
in the moment,
Yeah.
which one is better?
Can I just go outside and play, Nutty? Why are you using math and making my head hurt? I just want to go outside and play, man.
Well, because I think it's important that we tell truth, show truth to power, and see where they are at today. Because I don't hear a word from them.
Okay, fine. Nothing is better.
So where are you, MAGA?
Nutty. I mean, that's how MAGA thinks.
Where are you? Because we all know, and they've heard this narrative before. Not a narrative. They heard facts before.
Yeah.
That the $750 was for immediate needs, right?
And they did that about Hawaii too, remember?
Absolutely. That it was for immediate needs, like if you need to get food, clothing, shelter, baby needs to get formula, diapers. That's for immediate needs.
Yeah.
But what are those same babies getting right now? The babies that need help. Because we know that between Kentucky and Missouri, 26 lives were lost last month in tornadoes.
26 American lives?
26 lives were lost.
Isn't that like 2 times the amount of people that lost their life in Afghanistan? So it's,
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
So the reaction should be 2 times as much, right?
But we're hearing crickets. We're hearing crickets because of the funding that was pulled back from NOAA, because the National Weather Services getting defunded. They weren't able to get the people the immediate and early notifications to seek shelter.
So it's like these
are lost that I'm laying at the feet of Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Has Trump even went to any of their families and expressed any kind of remorse or grief?
Maybe we should pay them $5 million per soul that was lost.
Instead of Ashley Babbitt, right?
They weren't treasonous traitors.
This is some sick stuff.
But
where are the Trump supporters at right now that can't? I want a Trump supporter to defend what Nutty is saying right now.
My point is, every state that I mentioned that has declarations currently today, all went towards Trump. They all voted for Trump.
Well, then, let them burn in hell. I mean, I'm sorry to say that because I know there's innocent people in those states that may not have voted for Trump. But like I've been saying, God's judgment, honestly, is truly upon this nation. There's no way around it. We have to go through this fire together until these people yield in their support of this demonic and wicked spirit that they've allowed to, take over their bodies.
You know what's funny? I'm going to bring this to, I'm going to full circle because I'm going to bring this to your home. When we heard about the fires over in California, Donald Trump did not want to give aid to California.
No, he didn't.
He did not want to give aid to California, which would have been fine because guess why? California has the money to take care of their own people.
Yeah. W. Gavin Newsom. Because we're Democrats. We got the 4th largest economy. Obviously, we're better for business. We understand business in California. Duh.
But my point is, I sit in the state of misery. We don't see our governor saying, you know what, screw the federal government. We're going to take care of our citizens. We don't see Sarah Sloth-Toad Huckabee Sanders over in Arkansas saying, screw the federal government. We're going to take care of our people. Where are they? Governor Andy Beshear out of Kentucky. He is actually trying to do something. However, they don't have the money to do it. So you all rallied against the federal government, talking about, the states should be taking care of their own people. What say you now, MAGA? When you need the help, now you ain't got it.
Yeah. Where are you MAGA demons at now? Your dear leader, instead of reaching out to the 26 lost souls that have been impacted by these natural disasters, and that's twice the amount of Americans that lost their life during the Afghanistan withdrawal that he negotiated, right? He negotiated that Afghanistan withdrawal, right, Nutty?
He absolutely did.
Yeah,
and they want to put the ownership on Joe Biden because Joe Biden carried out what was already negotiated.
Yeah. And so, do you know of any communications from the Trump administration going out to these 26 Americans who've lost their lives as a result of these natural disasters that probably they could have not had their lives lost if he didn't cut the funding? Remember, he cut the funding to these agencies that warn people about these disasters, right? He did that too, right?
So because I'm not part of the clown show, I can't with 100% certain. You see how we do that, Magda?
Yeah.
When we don't know something for sure, we qualify that.
Okay. Let me go get the information.
I don't know that for certain that he hasn't reached out, but
okay, that part.
Yeah, I don't know that for certain, but his track record would tell me, heck no, he ain't reached out. Because I doubt he even cares to even know these people. Because he's probably thinking, 26, whatever. I took care of more than that during COVID.
Wow.
Because we had hundreds of thousands of lives lost under him during COVID. He's like, I did better than that during COVID. So let me, 26, that's nothing.
Wow. I just wish that we would get one brave MAGA demon to come up here and truly apologize.
Well, we're not going to get that, so that's not going to happen. So don't hold your breath. But I wanted to in closing, I wanted to say yesterday, Stacy.
You got words of encouragement for Stacy?
No, I don't. No, I got words of.
What about Scotty? Because he's here, but he's too terrified. He's shaking. He's shaking
Scotty,
in his boots right now.
Scotty needs to get beamed back up to wherever planet he came from, because he's certainly not on planet Earth.
Thank you.
He is certainly not on planet Earth. But to have Michael Cohen, someone who literally knows Donald, someone who is educated. You may not like his politics. You know what? He's a conservative. Let's just be honest. Michael Cohen is a conservative. The fact
is that true? I didn't know that. But okay,
he's a conservative.
Okay, interesting.
The fact is, he even said to us on your live previously, Zeus, that he was all in on Donald Trump because he loved Donald Trump. He thought working for Donald Trump was a privilege. Yada yada yada. He did not change courses until he got the okie doke on himself. When he had to go to prison and no one else had to go to meaning Donald Trump.
Yeah.
No one else had to go to prison. He went to prison because he was trying to protect Donald Trump. He didn't get a pardon.
Marissa. Right.
He had to be away from his wife, his children. So, yes. And even today, he will tell you that working for Donald was probably one of the highlights of his life. So I'm not, speaking against Michael Cohen, but with someone
I thought he was a Democrat, but I got to double check.
Someone
you might be
that close to Donald Trump that had nothing but kind words to say as far as being an employee of Donald Trump. Someone who would go to jail for Donald Trump. If the fact that he speaks out against Donald Trump now, now you all want to say, he's horrible, he's this, he's that, he's the other. Anyone who goes against your narrative, you're gonna cancel. You're gonna cancel. So no, MAGA, do better, because our nation is on fire right now.
Yeah,
our nation is on fire, and it affects every single one of us.
Tell them.
With that being said, I'm out of here, Zeus.
Thank you, brother.
Please tap that screen. Let's get to 500K. You did a great job yesterday, but he had one of the biggest demons on the panel yesterday. So, I know what I was going to say.
Bounce. Thank you, Bounce.
Despite the fact that they brought to Stacy, she's going to spin it. Y'all wanted to give her credit because she stayed in the box. I'm not giving her nothing, because what that showed is that the demon in her is so deep and so deeply rooted that she doesn't want to hear facts, and she's going to say, well, what about just because she can articulate her points better than any other MAGA doesn't mean she's giving you the truth.
Facts. Facts.
So thank you for the time and keep tapping that screen.
W Nutty. No lies detected. And he's totally right. They can spin whatever they want to spin in terms of the narratives, but none of us buy it. Elon's not buying it. I'm not buying it. No one, even Marjorie Trader Green, isn't buying it. The big, beautiful bill, as they like to refer to it, is a disgusting and it's a nasty abomination, and no one's going to support it. It's done. It's DOA. W Zeus, all right? All right. Are there any Trump supporters out there? Please identify yourselves. Because here's the thing. You all don't come out of hiding until all the, we do our number on the show. And then when I end the show, this is when they start to pipe up and act real, they act real tough when I'm about to wrap up the show. But I'm going, well, what are you doing the entire time we're broadcasting and we're telling the truth? MAGA, why hide now? Oh, I get it. You must honestly realize that you don't know what the heck you're talking about, and that you also realize that we've been right the entire time. Your dear leader does not, and I repeat, he does not care about you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move it along. Let's bring up my next panelist. Good morning, Straight Facts. Welcome.
How are you guys doing here in the kingdom?
We're doing all right. There's a silence out and about. And it's been like this for a minute, right? Trump has been silent too.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on out there?
Well, I think he's been silenced because his people are starting to catch on. I think he's been silent because Elon Musk is telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to play a couple of videos here real quick, and I know how to stay within the guidelines, so don't worry about that. I got you.
All right.
I truly think that it's imperative for us to hear from their own people saying the things that we already know. So I'm going to let you guys hear Steve Bannon real quick.
Okay.
Talk about some things that are going on within, because he got the inside look.
Right.
What's going on. But plus he probably pushed half of it, if not most of it. Thank you guys for the gifts ahead of time. I really, truly appreciate you guys. But listen to this, you guys.
There are no Doge cuts. Let me repeat this. And this is not USAID. Those are programmatic things. I'm talking about waste fraud. Where's the fraud in Medicaid? Where is it? They haven't showed up with any. Has anybody been turned over to DOJ for fraud? The problem with Musk, and I said this from the beginning, he gave false hope to this political class who doesn't want to cut anything. The reason, if the big beautiful bill's got all these problems and it has some issues, he drove it because he promised $1 trillion, ladies and gentlemen, $1 trillion that got him off the hook. It's time for everybody to grow up. Run around, show me where it is. The rescission next week is $9 billion, and $2 billion, folks, is PBS and NPR. Give me a break. Didn't need Doge for that. Been fighting for that one forever. There's $7 billion in there supposedly of, fraud. On a $7 trillion, he committed to the President of the United States $1 trillion.
See? And so you guys, MAGA, blagga, you guys are behind because X is already coming out and they're saying, listen, Doge didn't do what Doge was supposed to do. There are no cuts. You can't codify imagination. Y'all run around here trying to figure out Tiny Tick Tom, whatever the hell your name. Y'all over here trying to figure out why they haven't codified Doge's cuts.
Yeah.
That's because they actually have to be real. And the problem with Stacey, I want y'all to see. Think about. She begged Michael Cohen to come over there. I mean, begged, and the reason why, because she was grifting. She understands that she knows that she was proven wrong yesterday. That was clear.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah. She knew she was proven wrong yesterday. But they don't care about whether they're wrong or they're right over on that side. It's all about the grift. And if you are falling for the grift, you are the mark. That's been said in California.
The mark. Yeah.
We call y'all marks. You're marks because you sat up there and you listen to lies, and then it's the hypocrisy for me. Because what you guys do is you criticize other cultures. You talk about other people without making sure that you take accountability for your actions. I said this analogy this morning on my live, Zeus, and they got mad with me.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm going to say the analogy here.
Let freedom ring.
Yeah, there's no cuss words here.
But, get it on out.
If you are a chef and you're making soup and the soup burns, do you blame the soup or the chef? Okay? This is where we're at here. The white tea people are the chef in this analogy. The soup are the marginalized people in the United States of America.
Yeah.
You guys like to come up on here and blame black people for being in the conditions that they're in without actually talking about the causation that put us in the position that we are in. Now, they have been, this is a trend going around where they've been asking Grok, Chat, GPT, PT, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
What would happen if African Americans left the United States of America? And what they talked about was losing culture. Of course, losing money. Of course, losing great athletes. And of course, great minds and inventors. But they also talked about great minds and inventors. But they also talked about the crime rate. And they said, well, what if black people leave? Because, they like to talk about this 13%, 50%. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the AI said to them this: if black people leave, sure, crime will go down for a short period of time, but it'll come right back up, because the reason why black people are committing crimes or in the condition that they're in is because of systemic racism. And what white people will do is just find another marginalized group of people to oppress so they can feel better about themselves. I call that mediocre.
Ooh, W straight facts. That's a truth bomb for those MAGA demons. They gotta live with that the rest of their dark lives. Yeah. But that's so true. It's so true. They're just looking. They jack us. They jack our culture, don't they? They do a number, and then they turn around and come in and they, why don't you do better? Excuse me. So you can profit off of our backs and go around and make a bunch of money and then call us thugs and criminals and try to lock us up? I don't think so. W straight facts. W zip.
Exactly. Because they don't want to admit that the pyramid in Egypt is actually in Africa. I don't care how much they try to distance themselves. They need to really understand that we were miles and centuries ahead of them a long time ago. We had indoor plumbing when they were defecating
on themselves,
in
Black
the
plague
water, that they were bathing in. So we know the true history. It's up to you to actually go out and seek it. But I also want to end with this. I'm going to play one more video because this makes it. Now, we all saw Elon sitting next to that resolution desk in that Oval Office. He was gone. He's
like this, he's gone and then waking up, catching himself.
We
saw Elon on one.
He was gone. And if you are a believer of the auto pen propaganda, then there's something. You're the mark. You're the mark, because we've been using auto pens for a long time. It's just something to distract you. But let me go back to this. Leon stood next to the president of the United States of America. I want you guys to understand that. Alonia, I call him Leon.
Okay,
and he was up there with the drafts cooter. And y'all talked about Obama. So you heard what I said. Yeah. Y'all talk about Obama so bad about that tan suit. Y'all said that he was going to have his cousins down at the White House. But you guys act as if I don't hear one word about how disgusting it was to have that man. You talk about taking care of the kids and protecting the children. I would never allow him in my home acting the way that he was acting. Those tweaker movements would be unacceptable in my home or
Tweaker.
anywhere around me. It is absolutely disgusting. But you have the nerve, the caucasity to talk about George Floyd. But let me let you hear. Yeah. Let me bring it back though, Zeus, for you. Because let me let y'all hear. This gentleman's name is let me see what his name is. Hold on. His name is Professor Leaves.
Okay.
And just because you guys aren't talking about it doesn't mean he's not talking about it. When I tell you that black people, why you guys think that we all live in hoods, and I live in a home that's $500,000 in a neighborhood that's 99.9% black people, and you don't hear airy rap music blaring out. There are no crimes being had in this neighborhood. As a matter of fact, we have neighborhood watch. You guys need to come up off those raggedy stereotypes. But I saw that you guys didn't say nothing about Leon standing next to that resolution desk. So I'm going to let one of your peers tell you. Professor Lees was on Pierce Morgan.
Okay.
And he said it better than I could ever say it.
Go ahead.
So let's listen real quick.
Now, we've decided in America that innovation and money replaces or obviates or excuses depravity. Cutting off aid to HIV positive mothers, deciding what veterans should get benefits, cutting off SNAP payments, which have shown to have a positive net return when people run out of money for food at the end of the month. I mean, I think one of the wonderful things about being an American, and quite frankly, for me, what it means to be a man and what I try to teach my boys is the whole point of prosperity is such that you can protect people. And I think the two of you are more impressed with Mr. Musk than I am. I think if somebody is making Nazi salutes, if somebody is being sued concurrently by two women for sole custody of their child because that person has not spent any time with that child, when someone is so severely addicted to drugs they can't get their shit together to show up to the White House without looking exceptionally high, I don't think that's the right role model for young men. So what I would ask to all of us is look at what money has done to us. That if someone can land a rocket on metal scissors or create a great AV, he's a genius. He's the wealthiest man in the world. But does that mean we should excuse depravity? Does that mean, unlike Bill Gates, he's not using his billions to help people? He's not planting trees, the shade of which he won't sit under? I think this is an individual who has literally come off the tracks, who is rabidly addicted to drugs, and is using his immense power to get people elected, and that too many of us excuse what is abhorrent behavior. I think his legacy is not going to be an EV or putting rockets into space. I think it's going to be unnecessary death, disease, and disability of the world's most vulnerable. That is not what it means to be an innovator. It's not what it means to be an American. It's not what it means to be a man.
Wow. Period. Left them speechless. But hold on just a second, Zeus. Let me do this. I'm going to put this picture up here behind me. Because what I'm going to play right now is going to be the last, and I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Because I want you guys to understand something. In the Bible that you guys like to reference so much, you Christians, it says that Jesus had skin of copper. Skin of copper. They said he had eyes of fire. Eyes of fire. They also said that he had hair of wool. Hair of wool. He looks nothing like the Jim Crow Jesus that y'all told us about. But I'm going to leave you with these parting words right here.
He literally gave you whitewashed Bible stories. But the facts prove Moses, Solomon, and even Adam were black. Moses, he was raised as an Egyptian prince. Ancient Egyptians were African. How's a white man blending in there? Huh? And in Exodus 4:6, his hand turned leprous, white as snow, and then back to normal. If he was already white, how would that be a miracle? Solomon, he literally says in Song of Solomon 1:5, I am black and beautiful, not tan, not sun-kissed, black. Ethiopia even traces its entire royal bloodline to him. And Adam, Genesis 2:7, God made him from the dust of the ground. What color is rich soil? Dark brown to black. Even science agrees. The first humans were African. So why do they keep showing you whitewashed images?
Because you will believe it. They keep showing you these images because you will believe it and you will not do your research. Understand what I'm saying to you guys. You put us on the bottom of the totem pole and really we are on the top. You are mad at us because we will not assimilate to your behaviors. We will not allow ourselves to succumb to the stereotypical lies that you tell about us. We will continue protecting our black men at all costs. Stacy, the Bears. Zeus is one of our black men. And you can continue with these bad takes that you want to run around here and you want to say about my brother, but guess what? It will never, ever work because guess what? We are the blueprint.
Amen.
And you cannot fool Mother Nature.
Amen.
All right, Zeus.
All right. All right.
Get up out of here. That's all
cook.
I got to say for
You
today.
cook.
Thank you so much for having me.
She cooked. She straight backs. You cooked and you booked. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, let's give the beautiful straight backs a huge round of applause. That was an outstanding presentation. And it included DEI. You included DEI in it as well, and you know what you did today? You showed them that Jesus was black, and they're going to literally they've lost it now, but we needed to do that, all right? And we'll take care of business, all right, ladies and gentlemen.
Because when we learn, when we educate ourselves,
yeah,
we are a beautiful people. If we do not educate ourselves, we are allowed to be done like we've been done, drug all around the world. Separated, we are ants. Together we are giants.
Amen.
Have a wonderful day.
Amen. W straight facts, ladies and gentlemen. No lies detected. Hey, and Tiny Tank Top Tom, and any of you Trump supporters, if people get up here and they start saying words and you don't like how they're pronounced and things like that, I don't need any of you Trump supporters to try to correct us with the limited education that you have, because those of us who are actually paying attention and listening, we understand. Because the moment you start trying to correct anyone, I'm going to ask you, could you please redirect that energy to your dear leader, who right now is showing us that he has serious cognitive issues. He can't even say the word codified. If you go look at his recent interview, he struggled to say the word codified. So no, I don't need you to try to clear up anything that we're saying. What you need to do is continue to listen and listen to learn. W. Zeus. They always got something to say. They always got something to say to try to make it look like it's them that's in the kitchen cooking. You're not in the kitchen cooking. You might want to just keep that in mind. Please put a 1 in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a Trump supporter. And what I'll do is I'll try to bring you up real quick. As you can see, MAGA has, this is defeat, ladies and gentlemen. This is defeat. Oh, somebody wrote, what did you say? You have seriously issues. Okay, all right. Let's see. All right, let's see. So you think I have serious issues, Ian? Come on up here, Ian. Please come up here. Tell Big Zeus what you think those issues are. I would love to know what those issues are. The realist, you support Donald Trump too? Okay, one of you two, y'all should be able to come up here. Thank you. I've sent the invite. You can send me a guest request. But I'm taking it as feedback, ladies and gentlemen, that all of the Trump supporters who continue to come in and listen to this live, I do try to keep the live as open. Okay, that was a mistake. Gotcha. I try to keep the live as open as possible because I don't want people to have an excuse for why they didn't know, right? So that's why the audience or the live that I run is like that. I see you, Dr. Lex. I see you. Send me a guest request. All right, let's move it along. Who do we got right now? Frank, I feel like I've spoken to you before, Frank. Frank, what do you got for us this morning? Frank, are you a Trump supporter? Frank, are you there? Going once? Oh, he's in a car. Okay, fair enough. Frank, I can't hear you. Your connection. You got to get onto some real strong Wi-Fi. All right, let's go along, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring up my good friend, Brother Val. Val, how are you doing? Hey.
How's it going, Zeus?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Thank you yesterday. You came up here and you helped endure what we all had to endure with the Russian bear, and we didn't They still didn't want to accept the truth, but I thought that was incredible what you did. All right. W Val in the chat. But what do you got this morning?
It's morning, yesterday and dealing with yesterday and some of the things. Love you, straight facts, my lord. That was amazing, by the way.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. The thing that strikes me the most, and yesterday, and straight facts actually brought it up in one of her little speeches she gave by somebody there. We need to quit letting people talk about, Doge finding waste, fraud, and abuse, or let people even coming up and saying, I voted for somebody because of waste, fraud, and abuse. Because if that's what you voted for, it's a fail. I mean, people need to also quit looking at politics like a sport. Because anybody that's ever played sports in their life, knows one thing. Sports, depending on the kind of, the kind of athletic ability that you have, or what you put into place, or the drive that you have, can cost you a little bit of your dignity. Okay? Because it's an emotionally charged sport. One thing that politics is really not supposed to be is emotionally charged.
Yeah.
And this is where we run into problems. I want MAGA to understand and listen to this, because what it is really costing you right now is your dignity. Your pride is costing you your dignity.
Wow.
You don't care about human lives. Wow. You don't care what's good for everyone. Only you.
Y'all better listen to what Val is saying. And can we get because when you say stuff like this, their heads are like right here, and what you're saying is way up here. It's probably outside of the screen. Could you give them an example of things that they do that might actually make their dignity value go down? And
when you come up and you try to justify something that is in black and white, the Congressional Budget Office released its findings on the big beautiful bill yesterday. A second time, by the way. This is the second time they've released because of changes. When they tell you that the cuts are real, when the Congressional Budget Office shows you the cuts, where they're at, what they're doing, and you still try to deny the fact, or you try to spin it off the worst one, you try to spin it off into, well, that's waste, fraud, and abuse. We haven't found any significant waste, fraud, and abuse. It's not there. It doesn't exist. What we did is we spent $160 billion on Doge. Wow. To find nothing. Wow. To cut jobs from American people, to actually hurt American families, to actually hurt children in other countries. Wow. We can walk and chew gum, people. We always have been able to. We didn't enter WW2 and become successful because a group of people said, nope, we're not going to do that. My pride's going to stop me. No, when the decision was made, Americans stood together and did what they had to do. That is what we're not seeing today. Y'all would rather fight for your pride than do what's right.
Ain't that something? So you're saying this isn't even political. This is just simple right versus wrong behavior.
That's the problem. If you want to talk politics, talk politics. Politics should be what the people want, what they need. How can they help? That should be what politics is. Somebody brought it up earlier about the states having fun. That is in the Congressional Budget Report. States are going to have to take on these burdens. That sounds great. If the state has the money to take on the burden. That's not the case. There may be 5 states in this entire country that could survive what is about to happen if that bill passes. 5.
Are these most likely red or blue states, in your opinion?
There's a mix, okay? Because, you know what I'm saying? Because of economics.
Okay.
California obviously is going to survive.
Thank you.
Okay? Texas is truthfully, honestly going to survive. Florida's a maybe. Okay? Wow. All right, Florida's a maybe because of the loss that they've had of economies because of what their governor has done to the state. Okay? You have Massachusetts is going to survive. New York is going to survive.
Wow.
Mississippi, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma.
They're going to survive?
No.
Oh.
No, they are not going to survive this. People are going to leave in groves trying to find work. It'll be the mass migration. And if you don't understand what that is, or what created California and made it as big as it is today, what created Texas and made it as big as it is today, if you don't understand how these things happen, you actually may want to do a little bit of history on the Great Depression.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, that's a scary word.
Because it wasn't just about us losing money and suffering. People moved. People went wherever they could go to find jobs.
Well,
guess what? Those jobs weren't happening in Kentucky.
Well, see, okay, Val. So now that you said that, would it be okay if, because I live in California, and what I don't want are these people moving from the MAGAs that are in these states moving to California. Do you think we should probably secure our borders in these blue states that will survive? Because if we bring in these people, they'll drain the resources, right?
I mean, wow, catch-22 question, right? Here's the thing. If you're going to put this kind of strain on the United States, why shouldn't California not let other people in? Why shouldn't Texas not let other people in? Why should New York not let other people in? Because you have now taken what is supposed to be a single pool and turned it into 50 separate pools.
Yeah.
When you do that, you're going to create chaos. States are going to make their own rules. They're going to start to do this. The Constitution is going to start to fall apart. And then after that, how long has it become before we become anywhere between 20 and 50 different little countries?
Yeah. That's a good question. I mean, it's I know one thing, and you know how they're bragging that the crime rate is going down. Do you think once this bill passes and the resources start to recede, do you think that's going to help the crime rate go down, or do you think it'll probably go up?
When you depress people and you take away resources and they can no longer live and they no longer can do, crime rate goes up. That's a proven fact. Crime was not a good thing in the 1920s, people. In the 1930s. Wow. I mean, you may want to look at, the MOBs, right?
Yeah. So it's almost as if the people who are supporting this big, beautiful bill, they don't understand that it's actually going to harm them. That's what it sounds like.
Correct. And let me tell you who does understand it. Republicans in the Senate understand it. They are speaking out. They are going no. Y'all need to remember Marjorie Taylor Greene just said the other day if she'd have known that was in there, which is hilarious, by the way, because that means she never read it, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that you voted for her to at least read the bill she's voting on, I'm thinking. Okay. But if she didn't even read it, how many of these people didn't read it and understand what they were actually voting for? And are now coming out and going, I'd have never voted for that.
Wow.
Like it's an excuse. Okay, I mean, MAGA. If this is your MAGA princess and you love everything she's doing and you love everything Lo and Bolbert's doing, don't you think they should actually read the bill? Understand the consequences of the things that are in here? Let your pride go. Bring dignity back. Look at your morals. Actually, pick up a Bible and read it.
Oh.
Okay. Look at your morals. See if the morals of MAGA actually align with the Bible. I tell you what you're going to find. They don't.
They don't. A lot of their morals don't align with the Bible. Revenant, you said you wanted to come up here, and you said you'll explain it to Val. Send me a guest request. Val, I don't know what you said to him, or said to them, but apparently you seem to have triggered them. The demon was a little bit rattled, I guess. Revenant, I sent you a guest request. Oh, I think he thought twice. I think the demon told him not today.
Maybe he picked up the book.
Yeah, maybe he did. Yeah.
And I'm going to be quick here. I've got to get off here. I've actually got, things like work. But
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. But thank you, Zeus. And that's what I wanted to get off my chest this morning. And we'll do this again tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Val. Ladies and gentlemen, show Val some love. W Val in the chat. No lies detected. This is what makes shows like this honestly very incredible. I appreciate you, brother. No, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, they love you out here, Val. Seriously, they really do. All right.
I try every day, guys.
Yeah, you do. We might have to bring you up if we get a demon in the box.
All right, we'll see what happens.
All righty then, ladies and gentlemen. That's Val in the chat. All right. Do we have any Trump supporters? Place a 1 in the chat if you voted for Donald Trump and you want to come to the light this morning. We'll help you get straightened out, but you got to make sure you're willing to be open and honest with us. Because, one of the things here is, as diverse of an audience that we deal with here, I do believe that most folks, when they sincerely sense that you are trying to do the right thing, they'll work with you. All right. Oh, Kelly girl, you voted for Donald Trump? Okay. I see you put a 1 in the chat. All right. I take you at your word. Good morning, Kelly. Kelly girl, you voted for Trump?
Good morning. Yes, I did.
Oh, do you regret it?
No, I don't.
What state do you live in, if you don't mind?
I was born and raised in Southern California.
All right. Shout out to California.
I love the countryside. I used to be a volunteer firefighter there.
Oh, okay. So that means you understand how important it is to look after the less fortunate and give back, to the country, right? You understand that?
Absolutely, because I'm saddened to see all the much more of increased of the fires was getting throughout the years. I saw when I was doing a volunteer firefighting, it was actually for forestry. So we go out there and it's hard work.
Yeah, it is hard work. And my hats always go off to people who volunteer and give back to the community. I think that's a huge sign that you honestly, you're a person that understands right from wrong, right?
Yeah, and the forestry department was going away during that time, and it was sad to see because it was needed.
Why was it going away? What time are we talking about?
I don't know the exact time frame.
Okay, all right. Well,
the station I worked to was going downhill versus all the city and state ones. They weren't keeping up with that, which is an important one.
Got it.
Because look at my family's house burnt down in 2003.
So, are you telling us this story because are you somehow linking it to Joe Biden?
No.
Okay.
I was just talking about because you said you were from Cali, so
Yeah. I'm in the Bay Area though.
In the Bay Area?
Yeah, you've been out here, I suppose, right?
Oh,
you've been
I
in the
go
Bay
all the time. My family, my friends. They're all still there.
Fair enough. All right, now we got to move it into the world of politics because I don't understand why you would vote for Donald Trump, especially if you claim I would believe you love this country, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, so tell us all why. Tell us all real quickly if you don't mind, and you don't got to go. I try to keep the conversation exciting, right? So if you start finding yourself going beyond maybe a minute or so, that's a good clue that you might just be rambling and we're losing you. All right. So what I want you to explain to us all is why.
Why?
Yeah. Why did you vote for him over a product of California, right? Vice President Kamala Harris.
Well, see, I do support the people's right to vote of each and every individual, which people, every election, everybody does. And I would hope if they make a vote and really look into who they're voting for, like you, myself, and
But are
everybody.
you answering my
that
question?
Yes, that
Oh,
they would be secure in their decisions.
yeah. I mean,
Of who
I'm
they
not
vote for.
challenging that. I'm just asking
Yeah.
you personally. Like, if you had to meet with me and it's elevator pitch, tell us all why you voted for Donald Trump. That's all. I get you have the
Okay.
right to vote for whoever you want to.
Yes,
But the
absolutely.
question
I
is
support
why,
that.
and you have people listening right now, and they're saying, just let
Oh
us
yeah.
know.
No, but I was just confirming that, we should all stand behind, a educated decision that we make. You, me, everybody. I support,
Yeah,
that you made yours and I made mine.
correct.
But I stood behind the fact that I have been really concerned about many different things myself, seeing where it's been heading, where people were we didn't have a middle class hardly anymore. That we've seen that go downhill. I used to do mortgages even in California. I was hard seeing that go downhill. People losing their homes, begging to keep them, and the programs that we had going out, I didn't like it. Real estate businesses being shut down. I wanted to see people get stuff back, everybody, and build back up. It was
Like
so
build
hard to
back
see.
better. You wanted to build back better.
I wanted everybody to be doing better than the way it was heading and going downhill.
So you voted. So your simple way of saying is, I voted for Donald Trump because I wanted more money in my pocket.
No, I'm not a money chaser. I
Th-
mean, I could have stayed in that company and they told me to stay because I could make buku bucks and I left.
Okay, so then let's simplify the way you're saying. Like,
Because
make
it
it
hurt people.
make it one sentence if you can. The reason
Because
you supported Trump.
I left it because it would have hurt people making that kind of money off of people in California
But
doing those
that's
type of
okay.
programs. So I
Okay.
left.
Okay.
I
So
could have
Kelly,
made 50,000 a month and I
Kelly,
left it
I'm starting to
because it
get
hurt people.
Kelly. I'm starting to get an understanding of what's happening right now,
So
and I'm concerned. I'm genuinely concerned. And do you want to know why?
why is that?
Because you're struggling to process what I'm talking about, right? I totally understand you want to be a good person. And if that's the reason you say you're voting for Trump, how do you why do you believe he's a good person if you know all the things that he's done, right?
Well,
Because he's not a really good person. I think you're saying you're trying to be a good person, correct?
anybody can sit there and say stuff about us and not know us, saying we're a bad person. I mean, I'm
But
sure any of
let's
us have
keep
been
it
called a bad
simple.
person.
Let's keep
I'm
it
keeping it
simple.
simple as
Okay. So
possible.
you know Trump is a bad person.
He's not a bad person. Just like you're not a bad person, and neither am I.
Well,
I
what
don't
it
consider
define
people
Okay.
necessarily a fully bad
Okay,
person.
so define to me, would you say like Jeffrey Epstein, you know who he was?
Oh, I do.
Was he a good person or a bad person in your world?
Mm, what he did was bad.
Would that make him a bad person in your world, or how do you
Well, as a person, you can't really judge people. I mean, I am a Christian valued person, but what he did was terrible.
So
What
you
he
so
did
okay, so let
was
me make sure I
absolutely
get this,
terrible.
Kelly.
It's
Let me
disgusting
make sure I
what he
understand you.
actually did.
Are you suggesting that he's a good person that did a bad thing? Or are you on the same type of time I'm on, which is he's clearly a bad and evil person.
I will say he's definitely not a good person.
Okay, so he's a bad and he's an evil
But I'm
person.
not going to say.
Kelly, let me do the thinking and talking, all right? For a quick second, but then you could do it. So we agree he's an evil and a bad, vile person. He was, correct?
I'm just going to say he's not a good person and he did terrible things.
Okay.
Terrible things.
Would you hang out with him?
Actually, we fight against that type of stuff. I've actually volunteered a lot of my
Okay, so the
time.
answer is no.
I volunteer a lot
Kelly,
of my
the
time
answer's
in
the
helping
answer
women
is
and
no.
children.
Kelly, the answer is no. You personally wouldn't have hung out with him.
Oh,
See?
absolutely not.
Okay, now your dear leader, Donald Trump, hung out with him. I need you to own that. You voted for the guy that hung out with this person. That
Do you
you
know how
personally
many?
no, Kelly.
Wait,
I don't want your mind to start to wonder. I just need that to sink in for a split second. Could you do
but
that
wait, you're
for us?
spinning.
No, could you tell the demon to zip it? Tell the demon not today, all right? Let me hear you say it.
I rebuke even the mentioning of that.
Tell the demon
I
that.
rebuke even that coming out of my mouth of.
Tell the demon, Kelly. No.
I will only speak of the higher up, not the lower.
Kelly, I don't want to send you to hell, but I will if you don't control the demon inside of you. This is serious stuff. Your soul is on the line, Kelly.
And he will be thy judge.
I will.
We're not the one to judge each other. We can't be the
judge. Kelly.
I want to have a good conversation.
Kelly, what is this?
I love and respect you.
No, you don't, because you won't control the demon inside of you. I need you to acknowledge you voted for the person that hung around, flew on the airplane, the same one that Jeffrey Epstein did. You did that. There has to be some consequence for you to do that. There has to be. Because that's unacceptable, Kelly, and you know it.
Hollywood,
Kelly, I'm going to do it.
Make them best friends because I mean,
Kelly,
you have had associates you've been around.
Okay,
You've done
all right,
business.
Kelly, can I ask you a serious question?
Correct? And whether you like them or not, you've been around.
Kelly, listen to this.
That doesn't make who you are.
Kelly,
your peers do not make who you are.
Kelly, that's strike
Correct.
one. That's strike one, Kelly. That's strike one.
I'm not giving you any strikes.
No. Second one. Now, we did the Jeffrey thing. What do you think about your dear leader saying this about his own daughter?
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Let me say that again.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
And have you seen the person behind you, the things that he said and done too? I mean, you can depict anybody however you want, especially in Hollywood, and if you're on the dislike list.
Okay, so Kelly, how old are you?
And in California,
Kelly, how old are you?
I'm 48.
Act like it.
I absolutely am.
Act like you're 48. Okay. But
you're trying to just paint a certain picture, and I'm trying to respond.
No, I'm trying to get you to
respond myself, if that's
Kelly.
okay.
Kelly, I'm the fairest person on TikTok. I am, especially to be a host like me. But what I can't do, Kelly, I used to do it, but I just can't do it anymore. I can't allow you to lie and let the demon run and reign over you like it's doing right in front of me.
It's
no, because
not my place to judge or yours.
Okay. So here's the
thing.
And
you're running this.
You don't think I can judge you. So that's strike two. W Zeus. Kelly. Now,
I mean, I think we should have a civil, respectful conversation. I respect who you voted for.
Okay.
I respect.
So let's reset this. Let's reset this.
I respected it when Joe Biden was in office, or anybody else, even if I didn't vote for them. I respected them as a person.
Kelly, let's reset this. Then let's try this one more time
before this. Only respect you, not
before this gets out of control, Kelly. I just got to ask you: can you at least acknowledge you voted for Donald Trump? Can you at least acknowledge you did that?
I did say I voted for Trump.
And let's also acknowledge that Donald Trump hung out with Jeffrey Epstein. Let's acknowledge this together.
A lot of business people hang out with a lot of people, and also Hollywood people.
She can't handle it. She can't
handle
it.
And sometimes when you're in, and you're out. And what happened? They ended up out, and guess who was all together still? If you're in Cali, you know. If you're in Cali, you know how it works. You have plenty of acquaintances. Doesn't make them your best friends. And in Cali, as a social place as it is, you should know that. It doesn't depict who you are, though, by other people. And sometimes you don't know how much they're against.
Kelly, all right. Kelly, I brought up some help.
It doesn't mean you're with them.
Kelly, listen. I brought up some help because I'm at a point now where I just want to judge. But I'm gonna give you a break.
You do.
Hi, Kabir.
That's not
hi,
right,
Takesha.
though. We're not called to. We're called to love each other, no matter what our differences are.
Okay, all right.
Is that correct?
Okay. Hi, Kabir.
Don't we love one another regardless of our differences?
Kelly, can we just
My best friends have been gay, even though I'm not.
I'm just gonna mute her. All right, go ahead, Kabir. What did you want to say?
Good morning. Don't have to be the same, and we know that.
Good morning, Kelly. Please, I'm trying to say good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Hi,
how you doing? So I listened to you, and I understand you not wanting to judge.
Yes.
I get it. But we have to use discernment as we move through this life. Do you agree?
I totally agree because I said, I don't consider.
Okay. So, you could say to yourself, do I want to associate myself with someone who's always in trouble? You know, those saying birds of a feather flock together. And you may not be on the same time as them, but you hang with them. So now people, they pass judgment on you because you associate yourself with that thing, right?
Oh, absolutely. It happens all the time.
So the thing is this. I wouldn't let my granddaughters, if he was still amongst the living, hang out with Jeffrey Epstein. Now I don't know if you
I
have
wouldn't let any kids hang out with
I don't know if you have
either.
nieces or any children. Would you let them hang out with Jeffrey Epstein?
Absolutely
Knowing what
not.
he did. Okay,
I mainly have my kids with family members and those I very much trust and closest to me. Oh, I was just answering her.
So you're using good judgment, right?
Absolutely. Always discernment
so
too.
Now with that said, then you would have to also use good judgment in saying that Trump associated with this man. He wasn't using good judgment associating with this man unless him and this man were doing the same thing. See, birds of a feather flock together. I don't go around peddling schmugs, so I'm not going to associate with people that peddle schmugs because I don't have time for the police knocking on my door and answering questions. You know what I'm saying? And then the second question I have for you is this. And I want anyone in MAGA to answer this question. What initiative has Trump done that will help the middle class? What initiative?
Well, see, I'd like to totally address if I can, and have the freedom to speak, myself of anything too.
I'll mute myself.
But what I wanted to say was, I said earlier, I've been in business where they said you can make $50,000 a month there, and you know what? People had spiels, and we were together in an office and out and about together plenty of times. It didn't make us best friends because some of them were so greedy they took as much money from people if they even took their house out from underneath them. What does not make you one of them when it comes to business. Or when you're out there in the world, and as in California, you know this as well, when you have to work in places and business, you're around all kinds of people and they can say, oh, you're just one of them, when sometimes you are not. I left the job because it hurt people and people were losing their homes.
Kelly, so you use judgment.
I had a discernment of what was happening.
Okay, so you use discernment, i.e. judgment.
They made money.
So with that said, why didn't you use the same judgment when you voted for Trump?
Bingo.
I absolutely did. 100%.
So once again, what initiative has he produced that will help the middle class and the poor? See, this is the thing. Trump and Congress and the billionaires and the politicians, they have lobbyists. What middle class, upper middle class, and poor, we don't have lobbyists. So you voted for a man that clearly doesn't have anything for us. We the people. I mean, he talks a good game, but that big, beautiful, ugly bill.
But you can see how many Americans and how many different Americans came together voting for him and standing up for America, which is a good thing.
You know, a lot of times,
be proud to be an American is not ever should be a bad thing.
Look, people
for any of us all together.
People get tricked by the fox, don't they?
Yep.
The wolf looks up, Little Red Riding Hood.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree that people can be taken in whatever directions.
I'm going to let Takesha take it.
Thank you, Kabira. W. Kabira in the chat. And Kelly.
Being very rude when we're not meant to be rude to one another. If we have a civil conversation, we don't have to put each other down or talk about people's views. I mean, you can respect that still without judging them.
Okay, but here's the thing. In your world, possibly, but in the real world,
I
that's
mean,
not
as a
how
Christian,
things.
I'm not judging somebody that's gay. I mean, they're going to be themselves. I mean, everybody being a sinner, they choose their own, where it's not my place to
Listen,
judge.
these people up here that I've brought, and these are some of the most well-to-do people I've ever dealt with on this app. They're
I
coming to
don't
you
have to
and
put anybody down or speak for anybody or over anybody.
okay,
as a
well, you're
good
doing it
person.
now. You're doing it now.
Because I would hope I would be given a fair trial to be able to speak, even for myself, and
Okay,
respond,
fair enough. We got
especially
you.
on a moral ground.
We got you. All right, Takesha, how are you?
Hey, Zeus. Hey, Miss Kelly. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you, sweetie?
I'm good. You just said something that kind of bothered me because I stopped using the word Christian because so many people have hijacked the word and they not showing that
Oh,
they're
I
Christ
agree with you.
like.
That's a hard word to use
Kelly,
these days. I
Kelly,
agree.
you said you would not
Can you
interrupt.
please
No,
let
I
me
was
talk?
telling her I agree with her.
You
Much
can agree
love.
with me after I finish.
Much love, though.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. So
I disagree.
I am now a follower of Christ. And I
Yes.
try to live my life according to the word. Now you said that that the people came together and voted for Donald Trump, so he can make America better. They collectively came together. Now, when Pilate took Jesus, before the people in the Bible, they all came together and said, "Give us Barabbas." After they saw Jesus perform miracles, they saw him have no respect of person. They saw him feed the 5,000. They heard him teach in the temple. They still came together and said, "Give us Barabbas." So just because people come together and elect somebody does not mean it's the right person that they elected. Jesus didn't need Trump to save America. If everybody had to put their faith and trust in God, God could have did what y'all giving Trump the power to do. Trump is not here to save America. God did not appoint Trump. He moved to the side and allowed y'all to have the king that y'all thought could save America because y'all gave God's power to Donald Trump. Now, guess what God is doing now? Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, I want you to read that in the New Living Translation. He has put somebody over us who has no understanding, who doesn't know what he's doing, who's got his whole cabinet, who don't know their job, because Isaiah 3rd said because of our disobedience, he's going to put children over us. And that's what he's done. Donald Trump doesn't want to save America. Donald Trump wants to destroy America because he's mad because we rejected him and went for Biden. That's why he keeps attacking Biden, because he's mad, because he's a narcissist, and narcissists cannot handle rejection.
That part.
He's done nothing for America, period. He keeps going over at the country, dealing with these other people. It's not benefiting us at all.
Amen.
And he come back here lying, talking about how many trillions of dollars that these people are going to put in America, that they don't even have the GDP to put in America. Y'all got to stop being fooled. Y'all got to go back to your first love. You got to ask the Lord to tear that stronghold down. You got to ask the Lord to forgive y'all for putting somebody in his place. And depending on that person to do what only God can do.
Amen.
The world is not going to get any better. The Bible speaks of that.
Amen.
And our children are the most precious of all, aren't they?
Miss
Are our
Kelly.
children the most precious of all?
Miss Kelly.
Growing into our future as adults,
Miss
correct?
Kelly. Miss Kelly.
Is that right?
Miss Kelly.
Our children are the
Kelly.
future
Miss Kelly.
of everything.
Miss Kelly, listen. The way the world is going, we won't even be here when our children won't even live to get grown. God
Probably
tired of
not.
y'all. God tired of y'all. He on his way back. We could be gone tomorrow.
Children are
It says no
influenced, and
man
the
knows the day.
influence that they should,
No
of
man
who they
knows
are,
the day.
of a simple boy and a
No,
girl was very
no
important
man
too.
knows
Kelly.
the day.
Realizing that,
Miss
and you're
Kelly.
saying, God is a good thing. They should be taught that just as much, right? Versus if they're even a boy or a girl.
Miss Kelly.
I mean, that is so terrible because children are so easily influenced,
Miss
and
Kelly.
these influences
Kelly.
have been happening
Miss
and going
Kelly.
on.
Kelly.
Miss Kelly. Doesn't
And
the Bible?
boys,
Hold on.
men competing against women and
Hold on, Miss
sports
Kelly. Doesn't the Bible say let the wheat
can be a terrible.
Ma'am, the Bible says let the
How is
wheat,
that?
the wheat and the tare grow together, and he will do the separating. Y'all keep trying to do God's job. He doesn't need your help. He doesn't need you to clock in and do his job.
Is
He's
somebody
on it
else allowed to speak to you
24/7.
if you want them up?
Kelly,
If you
you
want
can
them up
speak when
here,
she's
you've
done.
got to allow them to speak just as much.
Well,
You
you're
or
keep
even
talking over
respond.
me.
you keep interrupting, Kelly, and I don't like it when people do that because
Well,
it's bad in
you
my
have three
ear.
of you here, and each three of you have talked. It's hard to respond.
Well, Takesha wasn't done
Let her
talking.
talk, Zeus, because she done brought up,
Okay.
I mean,
let her
nothing but
talk.
respect.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Miss Kelly. We listen.
Because the comments are just going away with all of it the way it's being
So the
said.
comments.
Well, don't worry about the comments. Just go and say what you
No,
got
but
to
I
say.
mean, just the hate's pouring out of people, and
Miss
that is
Kelly, don't look at the
demonic.
comments. Just
And
say
I'm
what
saying,
you
I
got
love
to say.
children, and
Stop
they
it.
need a future.
Stop it, Kelly, because I don't believe you genuinely love children, and I got the proof.
Really?
Donald Trump,
What
yeah.
proof?
So I'll tell you this.
As a person, myself, I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I mean,
You
you're
and actually, I think you're getting real close to going straight to hell if you don't get out of this cult. Now, I'm going to say this: Donald Trump has cut funding that feeds children. Did you know that? He's cut
You know
funding that is involved in doing research that helps children live longer. Did you know that?
that biker picture that you see was for I rode with veterans, and I rode with ones
No,
that
you rode with the
protect
devil.
children,
You rode with the
That have to
devil.
do
that
with what
protected
does that have to
children, and
do with anything? Kelly,
so
this
the
is
religion.
this is the deal, Kelly. Hold on. You just said something very important. You said something very important. You said something very important. What does that have to do with the children? Did you not hear Zeus say that he has cut funding for SNAP, which feeds poor children? You know, you left your job in California because you didn't like the shenanigans, right? That came out of your mouth. You didn't like the way it was getting down, right? Oh, you didn't like
speak.
opportunists.
Can't
You
speak
didn't
for
like
myself.
opportunists taking advantage of people. So that's what I gathered out of what you
Speak for my-
said. So with that said, Trump is we know school lunch programs, USDA, that handles feeding children at school. That has been cut. He has cut SNAP programs. All right. With research, you know, a lot of this research happens at Harvard and the National Institute of Health. He has cut funding for that, for children and for regular folk. So how can you say that you love children when you voted for this guy who clearly doesn't?
Now, Kelly, we want you to answer. I don't let the demon run the show. I want you to understand that about Big Zeus. We don't let that happen over here. I'll give you chance after chance to try to get it right. But once I realize you don't know how to control the demon, I'll take over. All right? So W Zeus, W Kabira, and W Takesha. Kelly, you have no answers. Takesha, did you want to say anything? Because I think we've reached the place of judgment, and I'm ready to do.
You've already judged me before I even came in here because of just who I vote for. You've already judged me, and you've already judged a person that you don't even get to know yet first.
You think so?
And that's terrible.
You think
because
so?
You know what?
Do
I
you
would
want?
rather get to know one another and respect and love one another than treat people like this
Well,
or
Kelly,
one another
I know this
as
hurts you.
individuals and people. Nothing but respect for one another to try to come together regardless of where we stand or where we're at. And you know what? That's where I stand. It's okay. You know what? I'm strong. I know who our Father is.
Go ahead, get it out.
And I hope that and pray that each one of us do know the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit and the discernment over it.
Anything else?
And that we are to love thy neighbors and one another and our people.
Hold on, this is my favorite part, Kelly.
And each and every person to come together, not fall apart like this, and actually truly come together. But I know it sounds impossible, and it sounds like a very thing to mock. And what does mockery do of one another and to judge one another?
What?
A mockery is not good. And I know
No.
It's to look down upon. And look down upon others does not make person a higher up person and closer to.
No, you're going.
By having to put down others.
You got a lot more. You got a lot more
And
in the tank.
nothing but love for you guys.
You sure?
Nothing but love and respect for you guys of feeling secure in what you choose.
Get it out. Anything else?
I'm glad that you did this with everybody else too.
You okay?
Because whenever they spoke, this is how you treated them too, and we treat each other fairly.
All right. So what I'll do is,
but I can see that can't happen.
Here it goes. All right. Well, Kelly, you listen. You've made it to the highest level of demonic. You've made it to the highest level a demon could make it in the kingdom. We've played the violin for you. We've tried to hear you out, and you say you're a good person, but the truth is not in you, ladies and gentlemen. I have nothing else left to do but send this demon straight to hell. No, don't bring up the good Lord's name. What you can do is take that first class trip where you came from straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W Zeus, W Kabira, W Takesha. Sorry to put all of you through that, but we really tried to rescue that one, but she's deep in and there's just no way she can get out. Before we go, any last words, you two?
Let me say this, Zeus. That's just what I wanted to say today. Miss Cabria.
I mean, was I too mean?
Go on mute, Miss Cabria.
Was I too mean? Because I really tried to give it her.
Oh my God, Zeus! The violence took it away. Look, I think she's stuck in two worlds, right?
Yeah.
She said the two worlds is she wants to do right, but the demon in her just, I don't know, like I wanted to know, why would, if you have all these beliefs in helping people, and clearly Trump believes in helping thyself.
Correct.
Why would you vote for this man? So she's stuck in two worlds. I'm sorry for laughing, but the violin sent me. They just...
Well, she needed to get it out, and I had to make it a nice, safe space for her, so that's why I did the violins, all right? But yeah, you're right. Kelly, you got to do better. Takesha, any last words?
Yeah, because this is what I wanted to say today. Because I'm really tired of the people saying they're Christians and God just, pulling the covers off of them. They cover up with the blanket that said Christian, but God just pull it off for them and let us see that what they really call themselves, they're not. But let me say this, Zeus. There was a video that they were showing of Trump getting off Air Force One the other day.
Yeah.
And passed straight by the limo that he was supposed to get in and was walking past it on down, on down the tarmac.
Yeah.
And they had to go get him and point to the limo and bring him back to it. I want to say this, Zeus. You shall reap what you sow. You kept talking about Joe Biden, calling him demented, calling him Sleepy Joe, and all of these things. And now God is putting you on display for the things that you said about Joe Biden. That is talking about your own self.
Amen.
So you can do all the investigation on Joe Biden you want to, but you digging a ditch for that man that you yourself gonna fall in, Donald Trump.
Amen. W Takesha. Because like I said, God's judgment is truly upon this nation. And it's mainly on the Trump supporters. Yeah, Trump, I don't know if he has the actual health to make it 4 years of real hard work, because that's what the job of the presidency requires, right?
Look how you pass by a whole limo and keep walking, and they got to come and get you and point you back to the limo. Where was you going, Zeus?
Something's wrong with him up here, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. All righty then. Well, listen, you two, thank you so much for coming up. I really do appreciate it, but we got to get up out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, show Takesha and Kabira some love, all right? We don't get an opportunity to get a tag team like that, but we did it today. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, that concludes this special broadcast. Big Zeus does have to get up out of here. I'm so sorry. I know I would love to actually talk to every single one of you, but unfortunately, we got other things to do, all right? I want to give a special thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists, as well as those of you, honestly, who took time out of your busy morning to tune in and listen to what we're doing. All right, it really does mean a lot. It's one of the most entertaining, engaging, and educational shows on TikTok, if you ask me. But I also would like to give one final round of, you guessed it, booze and shame. And this goes out to all of the Zeus haters out there. Scotty, I was looking for you, bro. I wanted to get you up here again so I could finish what I started, but you're running scared because you know I'm right and you're wrong. And I know Snuggy, you're out there, and you're still losing, bro. You're losing. You're always going to be a loser. You were born a loser, and guess what? You'll leave this earth a loser. Just like all of the Zeus haters out there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them one last round of, you guessed it, booze and shame. Goodbye. Thank you, Rick.
Silence! You MAGA demon.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, take care and stay safe, all right? Don't do nothing I wouldn't do out there in these TikTok streets. We are out of here. Another interesting show, another great show, right? Thank you, everyone. Hey, MAGA, you keep bringing up President Biden's name and Vice President Kamala Harris's name. All you're going to do is summon the spirits of 2021 through 2025. And that's okay. I don't mind keeping Joe Biden's legacy alive. All right, just keep talking about him. Seriously, I need to release 1600 Pennsylvania Ave. Oh, it's coming. Track after track. This is going to be some of the best work that I've done in a while. Yeah, this is the project that I'm working on, 1600 Pennsylvania Ave. All right, you're all going to love it. Trust me. Because a lot of these people, they say, Zeus, when I met you, you used to be an artist, you used to make rap music and stuff like that, but now you don't do that. You talk politics all day. So I said, you know what? Let me give them something. Let me feed the people, so to speak. All right, W, Zeus. You know what I'm talking about. It's some hard-hitting, lyrical, just cooking. Hey, connect the dots, W, Kabira. Thank you so much. All right, should we do some drill, baby, drill, and then get up out of here? You know what? That's a good idea. Let's do some drill, baby, drill, and get up out of here.
Pennsylvania Energy, because she's gonna ban fracking, right?
You can go find the song on YouTube, anywhere you can download music. The song is there. I encourage all of you to use it.
Against all this stuff, and then
actually, it's on TikTok
a half ago when she was getting killed in the polls.
Yeah.
She said, "I like fracking very much."
If you make a video, tag me in it with the song. I want to see it.
They always go back. She can't help it.
Right.
She's a radical left Marxist. She can't help it. But we're going to end that, and we will frack, and drill, baby, drill. We're going to be drilling so deep. We're going to be, for these guys, we're going to drill. We're going to take out so much money. We're going to pay down our debt.
Yeah.
We're going to lower your taxes to
that part.
Insane asylums. They go crazy when they say, the late great Hannibal Lecter, drill, baby, drill, we're gonna frack, drill, there's a frack. She's a baby, she's a less of big energy. Because you know she's gonna bang, it. Hey, she was a guest all the stuff, and then all the stuff, and then all the stuff, and then all of a sudden, hey, when she was getting killed in the pack, she said, I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical. She can't help it. And we're gonna end that. And we will frack, and drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drilling so deep. We're gonna be for guys. We're gonna drill. We're gonna take out so much money. We're gonna pay down our debt. We're gonna lower your taxes deep. Insane asylums. They go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Hit it, drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack. Drill, baby, drill, like it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill, like it's Hannibal Lecter. Hey, I see you out there. Hey, get a little lower when you do that. Drill, we're gonna drill, like it's Hannibal Lecter.
This is my part right here.
Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say.
What do you say?
The late great Hannibal Lecter.
You say that?
They say, why would he mention Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah, why would you say Hannibal Lecter?
We're going to lower your taxes.
Oh.
Deep insane
That
asylums.
part. Okay, I get it.
You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal.
And they go crazy when you tell them that. All right, am I right, ladies? I see you in W Heaven. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Hey, it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time. We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Hey, how much money do you owe? Oh, tiny tank top, Tim Top? You can't afford that. You need to get with a real hero. All right, because guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pay off all your debt. Right, Ange? And then we're gonna lower those taxes, all right? Because guess what? We got so much liquid gold underneath our feet, but all we gotta do is what? Drill, baby, drill to get to it. And after that, we're gonna do a little bit of fracking, all right? But keep it clean. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Take care, stay safe. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do out here in these TikTok streets.